Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate all the support. I'm back, right? I'm back for real though. For real though, for real though, for real though. I'm back. I had a few things that I needed to take care of, man. So I left you guys without a dope beat to step to. But guess what? Today, a whole bunch of dope beats, and we're gonna step to them. So over the weekend, I heard that Tommy Gunz, Southside gang, right, got arrested for having a thing on him. I got a thing on me, baby, right? Allegedly. Now, of course, it's an ongoing investigation, but it was an investigation. And that goes to tell you and to show you exactly what I've been saying for the longest time. When you're posting stuff on your social media, when you're out there perfecting your brand and you're on everybody's radar and you're on everybody's podcast and you're just saying a whole lot of things, law enforcement is watching, especially when you've been known in the past to carry firearms allegedly, when you've been known to be the world's famous gangbanger, when you've been known to be Southside gang representing. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to start watching you, especially if you just got out of county jail and you're on some form of probation, which I'm sure Tommy Gunz was. Okay, Tommy Gunz was arrested right in the Pixlonero, right in his neighborhood. Okay, they watched him. They actually watched some law enforcement and then pulled up on him and arrested him. And it's being alleged that there was a gun either on his person or nearby. Now, if it was nearby, you ain't got him. I'll tell you guys that right now. With a good lawyer and a good alibi, wasn't me. That's not mine. I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Officer. Hey, Mr. George, and not mine. I'm going to work, right? But if it was on his person and being an ex-con in possession, okay, and being on probation, that's going to hold them for a minute. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of rumors being spread. I'm going to debunk those rumors, and I'm going to speak on what's for reals, okay? Having been caught with guns in the past, knowing exactly what that entails, and believe me, the laws change and things change. You get caught with a strap, a gun, a biscuit, a burner, whatever you want to call them, right? Usually that's about 3 years. That's what it can carry. Now, if you're an ex-con in possession, that adds some weight. That adds some time, especially if you're a repeat offender and this is not your first merry-go-round. It's not your first rancho, right? You've been clickety-clacketing all around that motherfucker. So again, it's gonna hold you. There's a lot of people that are all over the place. Oh, he can get 15 years. He can get 10 years. He can get 3 years. Look, I'm here to tell you, for him being an ex-con in possession, it carries everywhere from 3 to 10. Now, at the same time, from what I'm hearing, he's also going to be charged with the gang enhancement. That'll hold you. That will hold you. I've seen people get gang enhancements, and they'll say, this is what they'll say, the prosecutors, whenever he goes up to court. They'll say he was carrying a gun for the benefit of his gang. That's kind of hard to dispute, right? When you're, every chance you get, your Southside gang, you can tell by the writing on the wall. Well, they looked at the writing on the wall and they decided to bust him. Now, this was an ongoing investigation. So this wasn't just something that popped up, just bad luck, cops cruising by, someone throws a gang sign, they double back, hit the Yui on him, right? And come back, they hit the baby Yui, rest in peace on him, right? And snatch him up, search him, and hey, look, guess what? This one's got a gun, or it's in the close proximity. No, this was an active investigation that they were looking into him for whatever reason. Now, that can mean that they were targeting something bigger than just him, and he happened to be associated with or around the area that they were targeting, or they were actively looking at him because they don't want this youngster out there creating or causing mayhem. You know, when you're out there doing rap songs and talking about killing people and hurting people and carrying guns, and you're saying you're a Soul Gang member, right? And that you're this and that, basically you're giving them the ammunition they need to hit you with a gang enhancement. Because basically you're saying you're carrying and the things that you're doing are at the benefit of a gang. Such an idiotic move, but we've all done it in the past. Anyone who's been out there in the streets, you want to rep your barrio. You want everyone to know where you're from. You want everyone to know what you're about. And now with social media and, of course, Tommy Gunz being a rapper, what better to fucking display who you are and what you're about than on the track, right? On music, on social media, on every platform. You know, there hasn't been one podcast that this man has went to that they haven't asked him some idiotic questions that he's answered idiotically, right? If that's a word. You know, when you're telling people the origin and the histories of why you got jumped into a gang or why you got involved, and then how down you are and what you're willing to do for the benefit of that gang, guess what? Yes, sir. That's a Sur Gang enhancement, right? That's exactly what that is. And let me tell you, the Sur Gang enhancement is not too much different from the Norte Gang enhancement. They're all the same thing. So when Tommy Gunz was snatched up this last week and arrested, he was placed into the Tulare County Jail. Now, there's people running around talking about he's ducking fades, he's PC'd up, he's scared of this and that. Let me break it down for you. First of all, Tommy Gunz, although he is half black and half brown, and that shouldn't matter, and it doesn't matter. But in the gang world, we already know how he's rocking. We already know who he's going to function with. See, he's been to LA County Jail a couple times. And when he was there, he functioned with the Southern Raza, period. That's what he claims. That's what he's involved in, allegedly. That's who he's going to rock with while behind them walls, behind them gates. That's just the way it is. See, everybody has a choice. When you get to county jail, you get to decide. That's where it all starts. That's when you make the toughest decision of your life while being incarcerated. Who are you going to rock with? Tommy Gunz had some options. He could have went in and said, you know what? I'm part of this movement, but while incarcerated, I don't want to be a part of that. I'm going to function as a brother, man, as a black man. And that's it. Now, because he was a rapper and because he was semi-famous and people know who he is, it's kind of hard to get up out of under that, right? It's kind of hard. And it would have looked like a cowardice act, of course, man, to go in there and say, look, now I'm going to utilize my brother card, man, and do that. Brothers wouldn't have been feeling that. They'd have been like, hell nah, you Sioux gang, right? They ain't on power, you Sioux gang, right? They ain't going to be feeling that. Understandable. But Tommy Gunz has chosen in his life to rock with the Via side, right? To rock with the Raza. And so now the politics have changed. Now everything that involves is on your plate and you must eat it. I don't like onions. Eat them, right? That's it. Sur Gang. Right? So when he's been to county jail twice in LA, he has functioned as what they would call a homie. Now, getting out, going back to your neighborhood. Now, Tommy Gunz is in a very complex situation. Say, if you're a Southerner from Southern California, you're going to LA County Jail, the Inland Empire, SGV, whatever county you're going to, right? San Diego, anything Southern California, Bakersfield back, right? You're a Southsider. You're going to go in with your gente, and that's how it is. Being that Tommy Gunz is from Northern California, or what you would consider the Central Valley, the southern part of Northern California in the valley, right? Still Tulare County. The Norteños are the majority. The Northern Raza pretty much have Tulare County sewed up. There are some southern gangs like the Pixloneros and a few other gangs that are out there in Tulare County. But for the most part, let's just be real, man. It's all Norteño territory and country. So when you go to the county jail as an active Southern, allegedly, Sur Gang, Southern member, they're going to place you in your own section. Okay, they're going to put you with your own people, especially someone like Tommy Gunz, who's pretty much known to law enforcement what he's about and what he claims. They're going to segregate him, just like they would segregate a Northerner that went to LA County or any other county, Kern County. Well, I won't necessarily say Kern County. They're segregated already because you got Norteños from Delano and all that. Now, is there an opportunity for these guys to slip up and North and South to see each other? Happens all the time in every county jail across California. If you happen to see the opposition and you can get about them cuffs and handle your business, well, county jail's on site. See that resolution that they made in the California prison system and the CDCR, right? the end of hostilities doesn't extend to the county jail. Now, if someone is running the county jail that has been to prison and it's beneficial for them to say red light, green light, sword gang, right? In order for them to say, you know what, we got to keep our program functioning, so don't get off. Now, that's totally up to them. But in most county jails, the end of hostilities hasn't been embraced. So that means any North and South, especially in Northern California, is going to be on site. Fools are going to get off where they're mad at. You got upstaters versus Northerners, and that's just how that goes. Now, Tommy Gunz is considered an upstate Sureño, Southsider, right? And so when he goes to the Tulare County Jail, he's going to be segregated. That's not PC. That's not SMY. That's not 50-50. That's none of that. That's called going into the county jail. And because of the safety and security that you pose, the threat that you pose to that while incarcerated in that county, and because the overwhelming numbers that the Northerners have, they are going to segregate this man. He is going to go to a pod or a building or a section with other like-minded individuals. Basically, he's going to go over there where the Southerners are housed. They do the same thing in my county jail. We're more northern than Tulare County. They have one block, which has always been for the Southerners, Southsiders downtown. That's where they go. They're all together. They're activated. They're doing their thing. And then, of course, you have the block, which we call the block for active Norteños. And then they have Sandy Mush, which is a camp out there, and they segregate people according to their gangs as well out there. And that's for people doing minimum time. Downtown is for people facing heavy charges or people that have that active behavior, right? That's just how it is. So for people that are running around saying, oh, Tommy Gunz PC'd up or he's segregated, of course, it's what they do. He has no choice. They're going to house him with his people right off the top. Now, there's a lot of people saying he's turning down fades. First of all, even though he's half black, he is half brown. And the raza and the brothers politics are totally different in county jail, in prison, and on the streets. You see, the brothers, man, are about that gangbang tip. In and out of prison, it's about gangbanging. So when, yes, a Hoover or a 60 respects to both of those groups, and they trade gangster, man, I got nothing but love, man. Rest in peace, my boy, Tiny Solo. Look, any one of those groups or gangs, and there's several other brother gangs, right? Black gangs in the LA County area or Northern California. When they get locked up, they have enemigos that are locked up in the same section, same pod, same module with them. And they have to take their fades because there's really, truly a lot of gangbanging going on amongst the brothers. That's how they get down. But the raza, North and South, don't do that. See, once you step on through that threshold, once you step through those gates, your barrio doesn't matter no more. People are going to hit you up, and yes, you're going to be respected based upon the section you're from, but the barrios don't matter. It could be your enemigo, and you guys could be the only two Southsiders or the only two Northerners on that block, and you guys got to rock together, homie, because you're all you have. So that's how the raza politics get down while locked up. So there is no taking fades, having to prove yourself. Look, you get there. Are you a homie? They don't say, are you a homie from 18? Are you a homie from Flores? Are you a homie? Are you a homie? Yes, I'm a homie. As long as you're not, and then Southern California is different from Northern California, being that in Northern California, there is no red on red. Norteños rock together first and foremost, period. We have. That's what used to be the old school saying. With Southerners, you do have certain borders that are green lighted or they're ostracized for whatever reason, or they're independent. And then that could come into play. So it's a little bit more different in Southern California. Plus, there's a lot more Southerners to monitor and to do their thing. But Tommy Gunz is not from Southern California. He's from Northern California that claims Southern. Okay, so he's going to do his time in Tulare County Jail because that's the county he was busted. And the majority is going to be Norteños and Northerners. And he could tell by the writing on the wall, Sur gang, right? Now, so that man is not taking fades or ducking fades or hiding from fades like people are putting out there. I notice, man, when someone gets locked up, people want to just compile a bunch of bullshit on them. They want to make them look bad. It's bad enough that this young man is locked up. His career is looking ugly. People are like, oh, he could bail out. He doesn't have money like you think he has money. Well, he just signed a contract, man. He blew that on 2 chains and 3 Temu t-shirts. I'm telling you right now, that guy doesn't have money like that yet. He was projecting money. He was on his way. He was going there. His music was actually getting better. You know what I'm saying? Besides him saying he was born a girl, everything was going good. But at the same time, when you're out there gangbanging and you're not able to separate your rap career from your gangbanging career, guess what? Them careers will mesh, man. And that same rap career and that social media career and everything that you're doing is going to impact your gangbanging career. And here we go. Getting caught with the gun under investigation. Now, this is my honest opinion. And it's just an opinion. Tommy Gunz is looking at a little bit of time because this isn't his first time being charged with having a fucking thing on him, allegedly, right? Now, how does the gang enhancement come into play? People have been saying, man, they're charging him with the gang enhancement. If they are, his gang enhancement could either be 3 or 10. One of those. Hopefully he gets the 3 shot. I know a motherfucking thing about a 3 shot, right? He needs that 3 shot because if that happens, he can get that somehow. If he can get 16, 17 months for the gun or whatever, then that 3, he fuck around, do 3.5, 3 with halftime because it's not a violent offense. He could be out in 16, 18 months. True story. If he gets that 10, that's different. Usually when they give you that 10-piece extra crispy, that gang enhancement or that gun enhancement, it's to show that he was really out there thugging. You know, he could be thugging on the rap track. Sur gang, I need a buster as a pet. But when you get caught up, they're going to say, oh, so what were you doing for the benefit of this gang? Were you really out there doing shootings? And they're going to try to tie him into a bunch of bullshit. Hopefully, as an individual, he wasn't involved like he says he is on his music and that it's just all make-believe. And believe me, that's what his defense is going to say. He's just a rapper. He's just entertaining. It's all a fantasy world. But like I said, that fantasy world could bust your bubble and could enter the real world. And this ain't an MTV special. So okay, it's just real. For those that are woofing on this man, give this man the benefit of the doubt. Now, this time he's going to face a little bit of time. The first time that he was incarcerated in LA County Jail, he did a few days. He was in and out. That Volta got out, peacocked out, chest all out. Tommy Gunz was ready. He was like, Sur gang, everywhere, right? He was all over the LA streets. Anyone that would give him free clothing and Timu t-shirts, he was ready, right? And he was doing all these interviews. And he started to blow with mic check. And everyone was started to understand and know who he was. The alluring nature of the way he raps, him being half black and half Mexican always is a plus, man. Also, right, the way he was from Northern California and being embraced by Southern California, there was a lot of differences that this guy had that other rappers like Lefty Gunplay and other people didn't. He just was an anomaly. He was a little something different, right? Seemed humble, his music seemed gracious, right? Humble, the humility was there, but he hated Northern California like to the fullest, but he loved it at the same time because he was from there. It was crazy. The second time he went to LA County Jail, we're already talking about the third time, man. He's catching up to Lefty Gunplay fast. The second time this Volta went to LA County Jail, what happened? He was in there having second thoughts. He was in there like, man, my own homeboys don't love me, man. You know what I'm saying? Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? You know what I mean? Catch you to the left. Everything you own. And I got to the left. Right? He was in that motherfucker like, swoop gang. Wasn't too sure, but LA County Jail could have that effect from what I'm hearing on people. It makes you rethink the process of what you're going through. Now, this is something different. This is when he needs to have his gangbanging shoes on because there's going to be a lot of bumping baking soda breath out the doors. Not too much fighting. The cops could slip up, but North and South are basically, when you're in that county jail in Tulare, they are segregated and separated. So it's very hard to run into the enemy. But if you do, you got to get off, right? I'm sure he's prepared for that. He said he was doing it in juvenile hall all the time. Well, this ain't juvenile hall. This is the county jail where the big boys play. You know, this is for reals. So I give Tommy Gunz the benefit of the doubt. I like the Lovato, man. I want to see his career keep going before it's done. But this is a perfect situation and an example. You got rappers from Northern California like Babyface, or from Washington, Babyface Wood, and dudes like Young Iggs that are currently incarcerated. Their career is also on standstill. And that's because, see, back in our days, the rappers just talked about the shit. You know, so I'm wearing Chuck Taylors and Cortezes. Those motherfuckers were wearing penny loafers and chanclas, right? Now, when these Vatos are saying they're wearing Cortezes and they got a 4.5 in their waist, they do. And a funny haircut. But they do, right? And so that fictional world, it's become different now. You know, they're not playing with gang members. There's a new sheriff in the presidential office, right? And gang members are being targeted all over the United States, especially in California, as being an increasingly dangerous problem. You know, it's been going on for years and decades, but now they're being targeted. So now these youngsters, man, getting caught with these guns are getting enhancements and things are happening. I truly hope Tommy Gunz learns from his past experiences. Now, will this experience be much different from LA County Jail? Absolutely. You're in Northern California now. You're around the enemy, the opposition. You're not in your home court. Even though he's from Tulare County, he's from a little section, a very small section. See that? How big? It's very small. You know, places like Visalia, Poros, Tula, Farmersville, Exeter, all Dinuba, Lince, all these spots, right, are much bigger. London, right? They're much bigger than the area that he's from. So there's going to be a lot more gang members from the area. So he's definitely going to have to be on his toes. As far as the people, oh, he's turning down fades and he's scared of Northerners. He's scared of his own people. Raza don't do that. If he turns down a fade from a Northerner, best believe we'll hear about it. But you can't turn down a fade from a Northerner. He's going to get off on you anyway. So you have no choice. You can't say he's not, hey, what's up? You want to fight? No, they don't get down like that. They just fucking rush you, stab you, and vice versa. That's how it goes. So anyone that's making up these rumors and people that are believing, I'm here to tell you, no, leave that vato alone. Now, he is looking at a little bit of time. I don't think he's just going to get out. But you don't know nowadays, man. I've seen motherfuckers get caught with AKs and be out the next day. It's a trip, right? Then I've seen motherfuckers get caught with a little fucking 22 and be locked up forever. So basically it's based upon who you are. Now people are like, damn, Tommy Gunz is broke. He wasn't able to bail out. Look, man, rappers don't got money like you think. All that jewelry, if you listen, that shit's hollow as a motherfucker. They don't have the money. Even though he just signed a deal, that's up to his record label to decide ultimately if he's worth it for them to go and get a lawyer and to back him up and to bail him out. That's up to his company, his music company. If they have respect for him, if they believe, man, he's worth it, they'll do that. Just like Lefty gets bailed out all the time because that dude Solis believes that he's worth it. And now he's in rehab and he's doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Now he's like, Soul Gang, right? He's fucking Super Soul Gang. Tommy Gunz, I don't know if he was too fresh in his career for them to have that type of respect for him or for them to have that type of, okay, man, he could do that, you know? Confidence. I don't know if they got that confidence. Anyways, man, I'm here to tell you that gang enhancement, if they do hit him with one, that's going to hold them. And he'll probably do like maybe a little less than 2 years all the way to 10, depending upon what they want to hit him for. Now, you guys got to remember, this was an ongoing active investigation. So they were watching him for a particular reason. And they don't just watch you for a probation violation. They don't just watch you because you have a gun on your waist. No, they watch you because they're trying to tie you in with something bigger, man. There might be more charges to come. One never knows. Hopefully not. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Let me know what you think, because Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's betterment of all people. Free Tommy Gunz, man. Get that youngster up out of there. And stop carrying guns, stupid.